I'm with Adam Brotman and Andy Sack right now. You guys just finished your speech at Imagine AI Live Conference. How did it go?
I thought it was great because it's fun to be here with so many people interested in this topic that we're thinking about every day. And it was fun being on stage with my friend Andy here. We're with each other all day, and it's fun to be on stage with him, basically being natural. It was great.
Yeah, and you guys co-founded a company, right? Can you tell me about that?
Yes, we co-founded Form 3 2 years ago. We're the team behind Starbucks Odyssey, and shortly after launching Odyssey, ChatGPT the next week got launched, and within 90 days we pivoted to become a Gen AI company. Form 3 is basically, we spend our day thinking about how AI is going to affect marketing, and we're on a mission to reinvent marketing and to be AI first.
Great. And so how exactly are you doing that? AI marketing, can you give me an example?
It's complicated. We haven't made it easy on ourselves. So we provide services and software. The software we provide is mostly for marketers and business leaders to help them take advantage of AI. So we're building tools for growth marketers, for example, to make them way more productive and effective at their job of marketing. It's AI-infused software application layer called SPOC. We have another platform called Hive 3 that lets AI creators essentially compete for prizes and respond to creative briefs. So it's a design competition using AI. And then our services we're writing a book called Our AI Journey, which we can talk to you more about. And we advise companies on how to basically get jump-started and get proficient on AI.
Wow. Yeah, we actually used Hive 3 to help design our future logo for Imagine AI. And it was a really fun, smooth process. I think we got 70 different applicants of proposals for cool logos and like headshots for our brand essentially.
It was like a distributed exponential agency effect, right? That you guys could use it to help you come up with your conference branding a little bit, right?
Yeah, and the fact that there's applicants from like all over the world. So that's what's so great about it. Can you think of an example in your own personal lives that AI has saved you the most amount of time?
Well, we use it every day.
I mean, you could talk about Addie.
Yeah. Well, it's funny with my daughter. I'll tell you not a business related story, but I think it'll be
in your personal life.
But you said to save time though. So I'm like, oh, well, but that's a great example. So
please.
What I do with my daughter, I have a 7-year-old daughter, and we'll be driving in the car and I'll use the ChatGPT iOS app in the voice whisper mode, which allows you to just basically talk to it back and forth. And I basically say, the prompt is, I'm sitting in a car with this first grader. I want you to ask her trivia questions on science and math that are appropriate. And it'll sit there and talk to her in the back seat. And she's sitting there getting asked trivia questions. You could even say, make it a game, give her points and whatever. And whenever I show people when they're in the car, they're like, oh my God. And like, for example, I've had students
he showed it to the teacher and the principal of the school wanted.
That's right. Because you're just like, it's a great example of how her principal, her teacher, and then also like college students that, like if she has her babysitter is a college student and I showed it and her babysitter was like, oh my God, I could load my class notes into this and have it quiz me to prepare for class. So it's interesting, not a business context, but it just goes to show what a general purpose tool it is. We use it every day at our company. We actually created a custom GPT. For those of you that don't know what that is, you basically can go in and essentially write a saved prompt that has all sorts of information about your company and your company strategy, and you give it context. So that way it'll always be at the beginning of your prompt every time you use it. So that way when we go ask ChatGPT, what do you think we should do about this decision or this strategy? It already knows our context. We don't have to reinvent the wheel every time we talk to it.
No, and that's the biggest problem that like everyone wants that solution where it's like it knows you, it knows your company, it knows the data, and that's a lot of people are trying to solve for that. And I love that story with your daughter and that, it's that zone of proximate development, like, figuring out where you are at an education level and like, asking you one step further, like a question further to help you develop. And for education space, it's going to be amazing to see the progress in this field. Yeah. Andy, do you have a story that could match that?
I mean, the thing that, I don't have my kids have both left the house and are in college, but the thing that came to mind, I absolutely use it multiple times every day. But Adam and I co-founded the company. It's weird to have it's not weird to have co-founders, but we're co-CEOs.
Mhm.
And so as co-CEOs, which is an unusual setup, we sometimes disagree. And I would say we use ChatGPT as the third co-founder of our company.
Wow.
And when I say that, I mean that sincerely. Like, we're talking to it about our strategy. It's acting as a third wheel. We don't ever disagree. Like, we'll disagree, but we don't, there's a lot of love and respect. And so we don't get entrenched. But having ChatGPT as a third co-founder of Forum 3 has been eye-opening. I think it's been productive. And it's saved us time.
It's a great point Andy's making. I'll give you an example. So, and it's a good example for how you can use LLMs, AI, whether it's ChatGPT or Claude or whatever, as a essentially like a third co-founder or a co-pilot for your leadership team or for yourself. So when Andy and I, if we're on different sides of a decision, like he's like, oh, I think we should price this thing this way, or we should focus on this. And I'm like, I don't know. What's great about ChatGPT, for example, is you could essentially say, well, I'm going to feed our discussion in. I'm actually, Andy's saying this, I'm saying this, and what do you think? And give us the strengths and weaknesses of each of our points. And it does a great job of that. And it actually is a really great way.
Then you can say, no, I really want you to take an opinion on who's right.
Yeah.
And it will.
Yeah. And it usually picks me, but yeah. No, I'm joking. It doesn't usually pick me, but
yeah, it usually picks me.
So it's a great arbiter.
It's a co-pilot, co-strategist. It's a co-founder.
And it's not, and so we talk about this all the time. What's great about Gen AI, about an LLM, is that it's not emotional. It's not biased. I mean, it may be biased in other ways we can talk about later, but it's in terms of like our decisions, it's not biased. It's not thinking, oh, I want to align with Andy or Adam, or I don't want to get in trouble. It's just going to give you its thoughts, and it's going to give you its reasoning behind its thoughts, which is really refreshing because it's hard to get that all the time from your co-founder, from your employees, from your boss, like to get like an unemotional, non-political, unbiased opinion and reasoning.
And so are you using the ChatGPT that you built to talk with and do this, be the co-founder for you? Yeah. So it knows your company.
Correct.
It knows, your problem sets. The
So that's our product SPOC that's coming out next month. Right now it's only in private beta. And what it does is we use actually ChatGPT as part of the program. It's an application layer that it basically understands you and your company context and actually helps you get your marketing jobs done. But it does so with a knowledge of context of who you are, what you're trying to do. Yeah. It also integrates with other APIs, so other data feeds. So you have the benefit of ChatGPT under the hood. You've got these other data feeds under the hood, and it's got the benefit of context to help you get the job done for performance marketing.
SPOC GPT, is that?
It's called SPOC.
SPOC.
Well, it's
just
funny.
SPOC.
It's just SPOC.
No, that's great. And
SPOK.
Okay, SPOK. Yeah. I love it. And so I heard you recently talked with Sam Altman. What were the big takeaways you took from your conversation with him?
I mean, we spoke to Sam. We interviewed Sam in November. He was our first interview. And we were lucky enough to that he accepted to do it, and that we went to San Francisco. I mean, we put the quote on the stage, and that was the leading quote. It's now gotten picked up. He defined what AGI was in his mind, which is the moment where computers can make novel scientific discovery. And then we asked him, we pressed on it. We were like, because we're trying to bridge the gap between the technology and really where everyday business leaders live and make it understandable and actionable. So we asked him, like, what does it do for marketing? And he basically said, when AGI comes, 95% of all marketing activities will be done by AGI, and it will be at zero cost and seamless. And that may be 5 years away, maybe longer, maybe it's 7 years, but let me just repeat that, 95% of all marketing as we define it today. We left that meeting and we walked around the park in San Francisco, and we were like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Like, what, 95% of marketing? So that was the big takeaway. And it's all, the other big takeaway is it's all happening much faster, even as we're in the space, and it's happening faster than we think.
We had these series of aha moments, October, November to now, where we talked to Sam Altman, we talked to Reid Hoffman, we talked to Bill Gates. We've actually just recently talked to Mustafa Suleyman.
Oh, wow.
We've talked to hundreds of business leaders.
We talked to Paul Reitzer.
Talked to Paul Reitzer, who's one of our favorite podcasters, by the way. And effectively, like what we were learning, the biggest theme, I would say, the biggest takeaway of all is the progression is happening faster than your brain can comprehend. It's happening logarithmically, not linearly.
Mm-hmm.
So our brains are sort of trained to think about linear progression, and it's hard to wrap your head around the idea of ChatGPT 5 or whatever the next release, the next big advancement's going to be, being significantly better than 4. Like 4 is pretty damn good. Yeah, and so like you start to think like, and if that's happening this summer,
I mean, the funniest thing that you say 4 is pretty damn good. 4 is insane.
Yeah, it is.
It's insane.
It is.
And then
most people don't even.
If it stopped there, if that was the program, we'd absolutely pay all the money. We'd be lifetime subscribers. It's amazing.
Yeah. Sometimes I just have to pinch myself because you're just like looking at it going, this thing has understanding, it has reasoning capabilities, and yes, there's a lot of room for improvement, but that improvement's coming.
Yeah.
And it's effectively like having a chief strategy officer or a copywriter or a co-founder. Yeah.
So what reflections does that give you as you think about the future where 95% of marketing jobs are going to be automated?
First off, when he says that, he doesn't know.
Yeah.
He's directionally correct, but he doesn't know. What all this means is that we need to be acting yesterday to prepare. And that means sitting around. A lot of times in the stock market, taking no action is a good strategy. When it comes to dealing with AI, it is not a good strategy. So you need to start using the technology yourselves and implement and trying to figure out where it is and how you can use it and for your own advantage at your company. And really that's what we're specializing in at Forum 3 with our boot camps.
Do you have any predictions for the future of work?
So I think we're going to see a massive rise of small teams. I think like 3 to 5 person teams, but like 5-person bands are going to be like killing it. So you're going to see shrinking, like the birth of a lot of small teams. I think you're also going to see this notion of like collaboration where people are just doing a lot more themselves, like a lot more tasks. My ability to be creative, I couldn't draw. I was never a digital art specialist. I can now create. And so those creation tools are now available to me. And it makes me look as good as what a professional was 5 years ago. So I think you're going to see those things.
Well, this has been a very interesting conversation. I wonder if there's anything else you'd like to share with the audience?
I mean, I think we should remind everyone, first of all, we're writing a book called Our AI Journey. It's a novel or interesting or new concept where Harvard Business Review is publishing the book in a serialized fashion. First time they've ever done that. And we have a community of readers who are subscribing. They'll eventually get the hardcover version of the book, but as we write, we publish every chapter. We're up to almost our 4th chapter now, and we'll probably have around 10 chapters in the book. And people can join that journey with us. They can read the chapters. They can get a monthly conversation with us.
Wow!
Live.
You're writing the book in real time, essentially.
That's right.
Releasing a chapter every month.
Roughly.
Yeah, roughly every month, and then we do a Zoom call with all the. Right now, we have a couple hundred community members that are all subscribing to the book, being a member of our community. They get to ask us questions and sort of go on the journey with us, and then they get a hardcover book at the end of the process, and that's RAIjourney.com, or you can go to forum3.com. SPOC is going to be released to the public probably in May. We're going to do a private beta. But if you want to learn more about us, go to forum3.com.
Great. And I love your idea of building a book with a community behind it. And like the community feels like they have, like they're part owners of it too, because they're along with you for the journey. How has your experience of Imagine AI Live been? Because we're also trying to build that community of AI enthusiasts.
You guys did a great job of not overthinking it and getting into action. And it's the same thing, frankly, that you need to be doing with AI. You could have sat around and planned a lot more and it probably would have run a lot smoother, but you guys got out and this is amazing, right? Like, so I'm sure there's lots of flaws and warts to that, but it's amazing. You have 500, 600 people here and
and date,
Yeah.
stamp it. In 3 days, it'll be done.
You guys have done a great job. This morning at breakfast, at my table, there was an entrepreneur running his family printing business from Tennessee, a digital marketer from San Diego, another business person from New Zealand. It's just great. We were sharing tips and tricks and, talking. So it's been great already. It's been great for networking, and I can't wait to see the rest of the speakers.
I was impressed. We spoke in January. I got a sense of where you were at in January.
Yeah.
It's amazing that what you pulled
No,
off.
we only started marketing about 3 months ago
It's
in January.
amazing
so.
what you pulled off.
I'm excited for this, not just this conference, but kind of the brand you guys are building.
Yeah, sign us up for next year. We'll come.
Oh, well, thanks so much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much for talking with me.
Oh, Crit, thanks for having us.
Well, enjoy the rest of the conference and
will.
talk again soon.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you.
You're my shield.